No. The Tsaxana emergency team did a presentation at the Health Ability Fair. Emergency preparedness is one of my favorite topics, along with violence of any form against not only women, but all people. And I've heard a lot said about it begins at home. So therefore, each of you have a family at home, relatives. How many of you at this table, as politicians, how many of you have a flashlight, good pair of slippers or shoes by your bedside? At this table, how many? Okay, good. What's wrong with the rest of you? Do you have a family plan? How many of you have a family plan for any emergency situation? At this table. Okay. Now, what's wrong with the rest of you? Everything begins at home. Everything. And that's where you need to take the responsibility to ensure, first of all, you have a family plan. You have an escape route. You have a grab-and-go bag. You have first aid kit. How many of you have a ticket? How many of you at this table currently hold a valid first aid CPR ticket? What's wrong with the rest of you? When I was called to take over the emergency preparedness planning in our community, one of the very first things that I looked at was, what good are we as an emergency team for Tsaxana if we do not have the training? So first things first, at the time there was 10 of us. First thing we did was schedule a training session for basic CPR, first aid, and emergency preparedness. That's your first step. And then you look at what qualities does each person have, what experience, what background, what skills, what kind of work do you do? It goes on and on and on. When that big earthquake and tsunami took place some years ago in December, at a January meeting at Moss, it was, I believe they call him the Pope. I believe that's his name. He made a motion at the table, let's form a committee, a Nuu-chah-nulth Emergency Committee. Great, wonderful. We met every week for 2 months, every week. And then we went to 1 month. Then I was asked to schedule the meetings. Sad to say, that emergency committee wore off. I know Curtis attended, I attended, Ben Clappus attended. Then pretty soon, the last 2 meetings, 1 meeting, including myself, 3 of us showed up. The last meeting I scheduled a year and some months ago, 2 of us showed up. What does that tell me? How many of you now have an emergency plan in your community? Yep. I would really encourage you to gather your family, your children, your relatives. Start talking about emergency preparedness. It's not only earthquakes or tsunamis, but forest fires, swimming, drownings, car accidents, whatever. You need to be prepared and know what to do. In my family, I have met many times with my family, and we do emergency preparedness and planning. And we've also contacted the Hopiak School, where we talk about emergency planning. A tribal council I've approached, because tribal council office is on Tsaxana territory. Who's going to look after them? All the staff, 100 people in that building. Are they prepared? Do they have an emergency plan? They are part of us. How many of you know what area you are in case of a tsunami warning? Curtis, what area are you in? Nuu-chah-nulth territory. What area are we in?
As for tsunami,
Yes.
we are at the highest level S.
There's A, B, C, D, which?
B. B, borderline of A and B.
There's a map that shows the Vancouver Island. There's an area A, B, C, D, zone 1, 2, and 3. We are in zone 3, and we are the highest risk for tsunami when an earthquake happens anywhere in the world of a magnitude more than 8. I would encourage you to gather your family, begin planning, gather your community, do more planning. Grab and go bag. How many of you know what a grab and go bag is? At the table, how many of you know what a grab and go bag is? Other than that, who's it? It's a shot. What's wrong with you guys? Grab and go bag, and you must remember, you have children? You have a tlutzma? Oh. Okay. I'm not asking you, are you looking for one? I'm asking, do you have one? A grab and go bag. What's your name? Oh, Jordan. Jordan, you must make a grab and go bag for yourself. You must make one for your tlutzma. You must make one for each of your children. You cannot and you should not combine all your grab and go bags in one bag because you don't know where you're going to be. Extra clothes, extra socks, underwear, whatever you normally do. And the other thing is food. How many of you have food storage for emergency situation? Looks like I need to do some education information sessions with Nuu-chah-nulth, eh? Food storage, people put it in a tote. How many of you have water storage? Bottled water. You need to remember in case of any emergency situation, if you have a bridge like Tishot, we're across the river, that bridge goes, we're done. They're not going to come and help us anytime soon. They used to say prepare for 72 hours. That is no longer. You need to prepare for a whole week to be on your own, looking after yourself. Food, clothing, water. Don't forget your medicines and essentials. Madam Chair, I appreciate the time. That's very, very, very little information of what you need to do to prepare for an emergency situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Helen.